Forgiveness is a path, it's a journey, it's a practice. So you want to forgive on two levels. You want to, one, see this individual in your mind's eye, and you want to say in substance what you did and what you did not do has no bearing on my destiny. I'm cutting the emotional ties and setting you free, and thus setting myself free. You need to do that for a while into the real feeling tone of forgiveness. You're not condoning an act. You're not condoning that he may have lied to you or betrayed you or led you in one direction when he was actually going in another direction. You're not condoning any of that in forgiveness. You're just cutting the emotional cords so that you don't have to keep reliving it like Groundhog Day. Peace and riches blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the host of Take Back Your Mind. Dynamic blessings to all of you, and welcome to Take Back Your Mind, a podcast that is about us having dominion over our attention. It is said oftentimes that people's attention span is very short. I appreciate you giving attention to this particular program because it will benefit you. I appreciate the fact that you're beginning to know what Take Back the Mind means. The mind is a set of programs that, in many cases, we haven't done the programming. The programming has come from our environment. The programming has come from heredity. The programming has come from the status quo of our society, schooling, education, miseducation, religion, things of that particular nature. But you know what? You can take back your mind. And you can begin to bring into your mind qualities of transformational knowledge, qualities of love and harmony and wholeness, appreciation, that will shift your awareness. The neuroplasticity of the brain will change as you bring in new transformational knowledge and begin to make choices from a much more expanded point of view. So the program is dedicated to bringing in individuals in which we have beautiful dialogue and conversations with that will stretch our perception that we can become more of who and what we really are. Do you realize if you hear information that you're unfamiliar with, or you read something that you don't know about, just reading something you don't know about or hearing new information changes the neuroplasticity of the brain, and you become smarter. You become more intelligent. And so hopefully we're offering new ways of looking at ancient and ageless truths. Okay? So today, this particular program is dedicated to a few of the questions that have been sent to me. Normally I have a guest, but this program, the only guest is you and these particular questions, and perhaps teaching that may emerge, and a moment of meditation. So welcome back to another episode of A Message from Michael, Volume 3, where I'm dedicating this time to just basically answering questions. Shalonda asked this: how do I manage the leftover grief I feel from my choice to walk away from my old belief system, which my family is still attached to? I know that I can't step back into that old box, nor do I desire to, as I am excited about all that I am learning and gathering. But I feel some level of grief over leaving others behind in this way. And I love them. And I love them enough not to put pressure on them to understand my new beliefs. Your response is very much appreciated. I appreciate the fact that you're saying you're excited, you're enthusiastic about the new knowledge that you're gaining from stepping outside of the box. So you want to keep placing your attention on that enthusiasm for your own growth, development, and unfoldment. You want to draw the circle big enough in your own awareness so that you're not leaving anybody out, but you're not proselytizing. You're not trying to make somebody believe the way that you believe. What you're doing is in your own growth, development, and unfoldment, you will change, you will grow, you will glow with transformational knowledge and new information that becomes curated into your awareness. And eventually, individuals will see that you're changed, you're different, you're happier, you're more enthusiastic about life. And at some point, those who are interested will ask, where did this change come from? What are you doing? What are you studying? How are you growing? And then once there is interest based on how you have changed, then you'll be able to share. You can't share before there's interest. That's called trespassing. It's called casting pearls before swine. That's what it states in the Bible. Don't cast pearls before swine, because they will use what you give them in turn and rend you. They'll attack you. In other words, if you're living according to a belief system that works for you, and you try to give it away before you fully embody it, and they see you making mistakes along the way or having a bad day, they'll use that against you and say, see, it's not working for you. You're not happy today. You're sad today. You made this mistake today. So you don't proselytize. You just live your life and let your light so shine that when they see your growth, development, and unfoldment. Again, you said it right here. You love them enough to not put pressure on them to understand your new beliefs. Absolutely. You just love them. That's all. You live and you love. Now, here's your first question. How do I manage the leftover grief I feel for my choice to walk away from my own belief system that my family is still attached to? And this is what happens. When we grow and we leave old thought patterns, beliefs, habits behind, there is a little bit of a grief because we have developed habits. For instance, let's say that you have a really good friend and you meet, they say every Friday, to have lunch. And then one day your friend comes to you and says, oh, by the way, I'm moving to Australia next month. We won't be able to have lunch in person anymore. They move to Australia. You feel a little grief because you've developed this habit of meeting them on a regular basis. How you deal with that grief? Eventually, something else fills the void of that action that was going out and meeting someone. Now there's no one there to meet, so the energy turns in as grief and depression. And what is the antidote of that is expression. You find something else to do. You find a way of being of service. So in the same sense, managing the leftover grief is that you're becoming so enthused about your possibilities, so enthused about people that are of high consciousness that you're getting to meet and have conversations with, that the depression of grief will become the expression of new friendship, new study, new insights, and new revelations. Everyone goes through grief and loss. It's a part of the human condition. But we don't get stuck there. We turn depression into expression through service, studying things that are new, having new associations. So hopefully, Shalanda, this brings you some level of peace. Blessings to you. Alicia asks, I've been in a relationship and partnership with a man for about 14 years. When we met, we both shared a curiosity about life, and I could tell he wanted to grow. By the way, I've been spiritual all my life. This is what Elisa says. But our rates of growth and curiosity have been very different. He constantly gets stuck in past trauma in his life and doesn't get help for it. nor does he work on his other relationships, including with his family. So he depends upon me for his emotional support. Also, when he struggles, I've tended to support him to make his life feel less difficult and more abundant and loving for him. But I do it so much, he doesn't see it, but now comes to expect it. I'm realizing that he cannot do the same for me. When I try to share how I feel, he reacts defensively and cannot hear what I'm trying to convey. He does have a sensitive heart, and he's a good person in many ways, which makes it hard for me to know how to navigate my frustrations with my relationship. I often wish I knew what the God in me would do, as God, of course, loves both of us. There are times I want to end it, but I do love his spirit. I'm really his closest friend and family, which puts a lot of pressure on me. I would appreciate any insight here. What's screaming through this is that you're going to have to begin to put yourself first in your own life. You have to star in your own life. He's starring in your life, and you're starring in his life. When do you get to play the starring role in your own life? So number one, you want to begin to ask, what do you want in your life? Which brings you happiness? What brings you a sense of enthusiasm and creativity? And you want to begin to walk in that direction. I'm not saying deny the relationship right now. Don't hear that. I'm saying, but you want to begin to create in your own life, walking in the direction of your joy. Is it health, taking care of your body? Is it taking more classes in some area of your curiosity, of your enthusiasm that's going to make you happier and bring more insights and revelations into your life? Is it someplace you want to travel? So as you begin to move in the direction of what's calling you, your purpose, your vision, the possibilities, you see, it will begin to disrupt the pattern of you just being there for him and his traumas. And perhaps it will be enough for him to begin to look at his own trauma and begin to work on it with his family or the things where he's stuck, because you're going to be doing other things. I'm not telling you to break up right now. I'm telling you to star in your own life. You say he has a sensitive heart and he's a good person. That's beautiful. Which makes it hard for me to know how to navigate my frustrations with my relationship. Your first relationship is with yourself. You draw a circle big enough to love him, but you walk in the direction of your own joy. And you invite him to come forward with you. And then there will be moments without shaming and blaming where you'll be able to explain to him, hey, I love you. You're pulling on me, but you're not working on yourself. I have to move forward with my life. I love you. I'm here for you. You're a sensitive being. I want you to begin to work on yourself. I want you to make a call and work with somebody, because I can't be the only person in your life that's assisting out of the rut. See, the only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth. So, he's in a rut and he's willing to stay there. But you're not. You want to move forward. We first met, we shared curiosity about life, and you wanted to grow. Our rates of growth and curiosity have been very different. He gets stuck in the past. Doesn't work on himself or other relationships. He struggles. I support him. He's come to expect it. Another thing that's called is emotional vampirism. He's sucking the energy out of you to make himself feel better. There's no giving back. There's no embracing you when you're having a down moment. So this is kind of imbalance. You don't cut off the loving. You don't go into blame and shame. But I would suggest that you start to do you and see if it jolts him enough for him to start doing him. Because a relationship is not two halves making a whole. Ultimately, it's two wholes coming together and celebrating life. A relationship is a joint participation in the good of life. Here's the example that I've used over the years. Imagine two fish swimming in the ocean. They're grooving. And then one fish says to the other, listen, babe, if you do what I want, you make me happy, I'll give you all the water you can handle. Now, of course, they're swimming in water. You can't give the other fish water. They're swimming in it. This is what we do in our relationships. If you do what I want you to do, I'll give you all the love you can handle. No. We're living, moving, and having our beingness in love. So relationship isn't giving love. Relationship is participating in the love that's everywhere. I become a greater version of myself. In your case, he becomes a greater version of his self. And you play together, whole to whole. So you continue to grow in your wholeness. Invite him. Now, the other part is, if he doesn't want to come, you're going to have to make some choices for your life, for your happiness. Not blaming him. He's just choosing not to grow. For now. Or he's choosing to grow for now. Hold him in your heart. See the best for him. And you do you. Okay? Elisa, have a beautiful day. Shante says, whenever an overwhelming challenge or an uncomfortable emotion comes up, I feel the need to escape. Not deal with the issue and numb out. The perplexing thing is that this numbness actually feels blissful compared to addressing the difficulty. However, my escapism has negatively affected my family relationships, my meditation effectiveness in my career and academics, and any potential impact I could make in the world. For example, I was recently kicked out of a PhD program for taking too long to complete it. There is still a slim chance I can complete it, but I fear I cannot maintain the commitment, the determination, the perseverance necessary to change my tendency towards escapism whenever I feel overwhelmed or challenged, so I can make it through the program and my life. How do I change this? This is good because this deals with a couple of issues. One, in terms of the overwhelming challenge and uncomfortable emotions that come up. Many people try to escape from this sense of uncomfortability. In our society, we have a pill for every ill. As soon as we feel uncomfortable, we want to take something to stop the uncomfortability. There's some emotional pain. There's some physical pain. We want to immediately for it to stop. So what you want to begin to do is place your attention on the emotion of uncomfortability. Don't run away from it. Don't escape from it. Just be with it. Embrace it. Begin to look at it. Examine it. This is a part of a meditation practice where you actually look at the sensation that's emerging. You can call it uncomfortable emotion, the thing that will make you go numb. You just sit with it. You look at it. You observe it. And this is what you're going to begin to notice. You're going to begin to notice that underneath that emotion is a story. Underneath that emotion is a lie. There's something you tell yourself over the years that you've used to protect yourself against life, or you've curated a kind of a personality construct that you've come to believe. Life is hard until you die. I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. I'll never be successful. And just through observing it, you'll start to see underneath what's there. But your observation with the intention to grow will begin to energetically dissect it. It will start to lose its power. You'll notice that you're about to escape. You notice you're about to go do something to escape. You're going to go drink something. You're going to go get busy. You're going to do something. You start to just look at what you're trying to run away from. And then you won't go do what you've normally done to escape. It'll start to lose its power. Then you can make another choice. I'm going to sit down here and finish my PhD program. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to cause changes in me. Yes, I'm going to have to be different. Part 2 is you pray to fall in love with what you have to do. Did you hear that? You pray to fall in love with what you have to do. I don't mean begging. I'm talking about establishing an intention so that inside you start to have a different feeling tone about what you're called to do. Instead of running away from it, you start to pray to love what you have to do. It'll change the whole biology of inside of your being, and escapism will then turn to enthusiasm, courage, confidence. You'll be changing yourself from the inside out. You realize that you can only have courage in challenging situations. That's when you develop courage. You don't develop courage sitting on the couch eating potato chips. Courage comes when you're faced with something that's difficult and you walk in the direction of the difficulty anyway. So why don't you just ask the question, how can I be more courageous? Tell yourself, I'm willing to develop courage, even in the midst of, and definitely in the midst of, a challenging situation. You've already said it. Escapism has begun to ruin every other area of your life. Family relationships, your meditation practice, your effectiveness in your career, academics, your PhD program. So obviously escapism isn't working. That's a precursor to addiction. Drugs, alcohol, sex, shopping, busyness, etc. Nip it in the bud now. Sit with the emotion that's uncomfortable. Don't try to get rid of it. Just watch it. Just observe it with the intention to grow. And then invite yourself to fall in love with what you have to do right now. Body chemistry will change. The challenge will bring about courage. And you will be a different being. Okay, doctor? I'm calling you doctor. Receive it and go forward. Thank you, Shante. Dr. Shante. Lisa is asking this question from New York. I am 50 years old. I'm going to reframe that. I'm 50 years young, and I feel lonely and disconnected. I think I felt this all my life. I often feel tired of even trying to feel better. In recent years, I started exercising daily, changed my diet, added yoga and meditation to my routine, but I have no friends, and my husband cheated on me and is divorcing me. Sometimes I feel devastated, betrayed, and mistrustful. And while I get the concept of forgiveness and letting go, these just feel like words without any practical application. How can I move forward, have more joy in my life? So this last sentence, how can I move forward and have joy and love in my life? You want to change that from a question to a statement that you write and read every day. I can move forward and have joy and love in my life. You want to start with changing that from a question, a quandary, to a choice, a declaration, a decree, an affirmation, and a movement of thought. So every single day, some people say 21 days, some people say 40. The actual number to create a new habit is 63 days. 21 is good. 40 is good. But if you can do 63 days, something changes in the neuroplasticity of the brain. Say to yourself, I can move forward and have joy and love in my life. Exclamation point. Start off with the period, grow into an exclamation point. Okay? So that's where you start. Secondly, 50 years is young. So somewhere you may have a cultural perception that 50 years is like old or something. In the indigenous cultures, you're an adult when you turn 50. In the Western world, people think they're adult when they're 18 because they can go kill somebody with a gun in the army or something. 21 because they can go buy alcohol. No. You're an adult when you're 50. So you've just become an adult. You're young. You're a young adult. You're an adult when you're 60. You're an adult when you're 70. You're an adult when you're 75. You do not become an elder until you're 80. That's when elderhood starts in the indigenous culture. So first of all, reframe this so that you realize that you are a young person. So you're not thinking you're old. So the body temple will believe everything that you say about yourself. So you are a baby young adult. Okay, you have felt lonely and tired a lot of your life. And you've started exercising. You've done a lot of great things. That's beautiful. You don't have any of your friends, I understand. And now you have this sense of betrayal that's happened. There's devastation, there's betrayal, there's mistrust. And the concept of forgiveness is difficult. Yes. Forgiveness is work. It's an inner spiritual practice. If the gentleman here, I'm saying gentleman out of kindness, I don't know anything about the man in your life. If he wants to leave, he's had another relationship, he wants to leave, I don't want you to go into wishful thinking. Like, I wish I would have done this, I wish he would have done this, I wish I would have, could have, should have. No. If the relationship is truly over, accept it. Accept. Come to total acceptance. The antidote for resistance. Now, here are the three things. 1 is acceptance. 2 is harvest the good. 3, forgive everything else. So you have to accept that the relationship has changed, however it's changing. Don't go back into wishful thinking. 2, harvest all the lessons. Let your lessons become blessings now. Let your lessons that have been stressings become blessings. What are you learning? What did you learn in this relationship? What did you learn about yourself? And let that become a blessing as to where to change in your life. Do not invite people into the pity party, because you're now saying, I can move forward and have joy and love in my life. You're going to do that for 63 days, and you're going to put that on your calendar. You can check it off. You can say it in the morning, you can say it in the afternoon, you can say it in the evening before you go to sleep at night. And then forgive all the rest. Forgiveness is a path, it's a journey, it's a practice. So you want to forgive on 2 levels. You want to, 1, see this individual in your mind's eye, and you want to say in substance what you did and what you did not do has no bearing on my destiny. I'm cutting the emotional ties and setting you free, and thus setting myself free. You need to do that for a while into the real feeling tone of forgiveness. You're not condoning an act. You're not condoning that he may have lied to you or betrayed you or led you in one direction when he was actually going in another direction. You're not condoning any of that in forgiveness. You're just cutting the emotional cords so that you don't have to keep reliving it like Groundhog Day, you see. And then put yourself in that chair. Close your eyes, see yourself, and just say in substance, I forgive you for all the decisions and choices you have made in your life that have brought this particular experience into my life. This isn't blame. This isn't shame. It isn't fault-finding. It's just forgiving all the choices and decisions that were made that allowed this particular experience to manifest. No blame. It's a no-fault game. Okay? So you're giving him, you're giving yourself. Now here's the key. Changed my diet, exercise daily, added yoga. Forgiveness has been a concept. Letting go of these just feel like words. You're not trying to get anywhere in the future. The inner work that you're doing, You're not trying to get anywhere. You're just right with yourself. You're right with the feeling of not feeling good. You're right with the feeling or the emotion of feeling betrayed. You're right with whatever it is, but you're not trying to get away from it as you're doing this inner work. So then it begins to disintegrate because you're not resisting, you're not fighting, avoiding. You're just with it. What's underneath that? Pure joy. You are wired for joy and happiness. Your intrinsic nature is joy and happiness, but you cannot attach the joy and happiness to an external picture. If everything was like this, then I'd be happy. No. We're going to uncover the happiness, and then you'll take that happiness and that joy everywhere that you go. Don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, I can move forward and have joy and love in my life. Why? Because I am joy and I am life. That's the truth of your being. Lisa, we're holding you in prayer. Feel it. So we continue. This next question is from Jennifer. She's asking about purpose. She says, my question is about purpose. For the past 5 years, I've been on a spiritual journey to uncover my true self, which has been incredibly challenging at times as I've moved abroad and started a new life with my partner. And I'm a new mom. Congratulations. I'm at a stage now when I would love to start a business, but I have no business background or sense. I just know that I'm passionate about making videos, painting, writing, and photography, and helping people wake up to their true potential. Sometimes my dreams feel too big for just one life, and I don't want to be stuck in the dreaming phase any longer. How can I step into my soul's purpose and potential? And how do I distinguish my purpose from being in alignment with my soul or coming from my ego? I often feel self-doubt and in need of external validation. But I want to stop caring so much about how others may judge or perceive me as I step into my purpose. Thank you for your time, Jennifer writes. So first of all, congratulations on being a mom. That's full time now. Now you are inviting yourself to be the best mom that you can be, creating an environment of love for this child to grow up in an awareness that life is for them. You're to create an environment so that individual comes to have an inner subjective feeling that life is on their side, so that they're able to go forth in life and handle the challenges of life without being afraid that something bad is going to happen. So first of all, your first job is mom. Secondly, there's some things that you love to do. You like doing videos, you like painting, you like writing, you like photography, you like helping people wake up to their true potential. So there's two things right in there. You're a creative artist, and you want to assist people into growing and unfolding into their greatest yet to be. So, as mom, you want to make a choice as to where you want to start in terms of you want to launch into your creative endeavors, videos, painting, writing, photography, or do you want to go into the life coaching, spiritual practitioner aspect of life, waking up people to their true potential? Where is your most juice? When you're developing a success frequency, you start with what you're best at, and you begin to develop success around it. Then you can break off into other areas. With the feeling tone of success in one area, it'll be easier for that feeling tone of success to carry into other areas. Now, how do you tell the difference between, are you living your purpose or is it just ego? This is where the life visioning process comes into play. The life visioning process assists you in becoming aware of that which is seeking to emerge through you, not just what you want on the surface, egoic perception or personality, but there's something within you, there's a gift. So you have to sit in meditation. You have to ask, what is it within me that wants to come forward, that wants to emerge? What gift am I to give to the world? Your spiritual faculty will become activated, and you'll begin to catch a vision and a purpose in your life. It may be a sign, it may be a feeling, it may be an image, it might be a dream. And then you'll begin to take baby steps and walk in that direction. So let's say it is to help people come to their full potential. If that's it, you begin to study the truth about beings. You begin to take classes around being a spiritual practitioner, being a life coach, being someone that's going to help somebody. Obviously, it starts with you first. Begin to take baby steps as to what you can do in that dynamic, in that field right now. Baby steps. Baby steps eventually turn inertia into momentum. You start to grow in that area. Okay? That first analogy was more of an example. The life coach, the spiritual practitioner. It's an example, but it's right out of what you wrote here about helping people wake up to their true potential. Maybe what might come up in your visioning process is painting or writing, photography. Maybe that might be it. Then you'd walk in that direction. The thing about it is, you say here that your dreams are too big for one life, but you have to start somewhere. Right now, mom. 2, you do the vision process to see what's trying to emerge, and you take baby steps of walking in that direction. It will develop momentum until you have developed habits and a way of living around that particular passion, that particular vision. What is your purpose? Everyone's purpose is to reflect and to reveal the cosmos or the infinite or divine mind according to their unique pattern. How are you to reveal it? Through assisting others, through painting, through writing, through photography, art, beauty. Your soul knows. Ask. And of course, you're not going to bounce this off of what other people are thinking about you. You can use other people in one way, and I'll share you how. But you don't want to go into self-recrimination based on how you think other people are thinking about you and looking for external validation. No. You're going to garner the authority of your own being. Your own being. Not external validation. You're getting it from within. That's why you meditate. Now, this is how you use people. You can just say to some of your friends, you've known me for X amount of years. How do you see me? When you think about me, how do you see me? And don't coax them. Let them tell you. They'll tell you. Your friends know. Oh, my God, you know, you're a very beautiful person. You're always trying to help people. You're always trying to make people stand up for their potential. Or they might say, oh, you're very artistic. You're always creating things. You're always painting. You're always taking photography. Your friends will give you feedback as to how they see you based on how they have seen you grow over the years. So you'll get that feedback, not validation, but that feedback along with catching a vision from your own life visioning. You got it? But don't be afraid to move. There's something called the paralysis by analysis. Don't so overanalyze yourself that you paralyze yourself. Catch something and then take baby steps and walk in that direction. Now, the book that's right behind me is called The Life Visioning Process. It can assist you. And there's also audios around that and also ways by which you can listen to me actually teaching that as well. Okay? I think that's it. We're going to hold you in prayer, Jennifer. I hope this assists you. Okay, new mom, that's number 1 for right now. All right, peace and blessings. Ryan from Brooklyn asked this. How does one get over feeling anxious about and afraid of death? What happens when it's time for us to leave the body temple? In some traditions, you imagine that death is on your shoulder. Some say it's your left shoulder. It's an analogy. Don't take it literally. and you say to yourself, okay, death is on my left shoulder. What shall I do with my life? Instead of being afraid of death, you use the fact that the body is mortal to propel you into right action, to propel you into doing something for your life. Because the graveyards are full of regret. They're full of choices that were never made, actions that were never taken. So you use the fact that the body, not you, but the body is perhaps mortal and will one day dissolve to propel you into living a vision for your life. Now, going back to your second question, death doesn't really exist. Only life exists. Life can't give birth to death. There are endings in circumstances, situations, businesses, houses. There are endings in the material realm. Death is simply a doorway through which you become aware that you're not the body. You are eternal life, forever and forever unfolding. Now, this truth is found in every path with heart on the planet. Always has an awareness based on the teacher, the avatar, the great being that the religion was founded around. All the mystics know this. We say the same thing. Doesn't exist. So two, you want to use your belief in it to propel you towards your vision. And then you want to be aware that it doesn't really exist. It's just an experience of moving from one room to another. You move from your kitchen to your bedroom, from your bedroom to your dining room. You're just changing rooms. That's what death is. But you're still you. Okay? So the anxiousness dissolves as you spend more time in meditation and you start to have intuitive hits about your spiritual nature. Spiritual and eternal and forever mean the same thing. Spiritual is eternal. Your spiritual nature, your eternal and immortal nature. You meditate and you become increasingly aware that you've always existed. You've always been alive and you will continue to be so. So here's the question. What are you going to do with eternity? What are you going to do with eternity? What are you going to do with it? Do something beautiful with it. Appreciate this incarnation. Use it to the fullest to bring forth the realm of ever-expanding good, which is another name for heaven. Bring it to earth. And as you do that, you won't have time to worry about when the body is going to dissolve. Or, as you said, when you're going to die. You'll be so busy living life. You will be so busy living life. You will be so busy living life. Have a bright and beautiful day. Ryan, have a bright and beautiful day. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A for today. Obviously, we'll have more as we go on with Take Back Your Mind. This is our moment of stillness and quietude. Just a couple of moments of just resetting our mind and our awareness on the eternal, on our real self, being still. How often do you stop during the day and just receive a breath and come to a complete stop before you rush into the next thing? It's essential to have a meditation practice. So let's stop in this moment. Let us be still. Let's establish an intention to wake up to our glorious nature as you close the outer eyes. Let us take our attention and place it around our intention and the sacred breath. And sit as if someone were about to tell us the biggest secret. So there's an inner receptivity that's happening. And we sit as if this is the very first time we've ever practiced the art and the science of meditation. Be still. Pause for the cause. First cause. The only cause. The presence. Thoughts pass through your awareness. That's okay. Don't try to make them go away. Just let them pass on through. Noises happen. It's okay. It's in your field of awareness. It's all right. Sensations occur with the body temple. That's okay. It's all in your field of awareness. Observe with the intention to wake up. Be still. This is the pause for the cause. First cause. Presence. Another moment. You're resetting your day, bringing your attention away from the world and coming into your interiority. Where you are intending to wake up to your glorious nature. Let us now give thanks for our life. Just slowly open your eyes. Allow yourself to be grateful, thankful, and appreciative. Let it be so. And so it is. Amen and Ashe. Thank you for being with us on this particular day, as my staff would call it, Message for Michael. If you want to support the podcast, definitely subscribe. Definitely give us 5 stars. Let all your friends know about it. It's good for the analytics to go up, then more people will find out about it. Secondly, you can support the main sponsor, which is Agape International Spiritual Center. Go to agapelive.com. You can make a donation to the sponsor, and thus you'll be supporting the podcast. You can also go to Nutrarise.com, curate Adapta-Zen. Get the bundle. The superfood greens, the vitamin D3K2, nourish your body temple. At the same time, support the sponsors who are supporting us. Have a beautiful day. You're being blessed. Go ahead and receive it and pass it on. Your time is very valuable, so I want to thank you for lending us your ear and participating in taking back your mind. If you want to submit a question for the question of the week, please submit it to podcast@michaelbeckwith.com. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please submit a review and let us know your thoughts. Stay on top of current episodes by subscribing to the podcast so that you'll receive alerts and not miss one single episode. And feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and family. And until we meet again, take back your mind, and you will take back your life. Peace and blessings.